Have you ever been on a ride that was kind of scary but also super exciting? You know, one of those rides where you have to hold on tight and really trust the person in charge? Well, that's exactly the kind of adventure we're diving into today. And you'll see it's a lot like our journey through life itself. Let's get started. So, I've got to ask you, are you ready for this? Because this isn't just a story you sit back and listen to. Oh no, this is an adventure that puts you right in the middle of a thrilling and, yeah, kind of dangerous ride. Okay, so picture this. Our journey starts in a place called Knights Canyon. You're on a horse and you've got to get across. But trust me, this is no ordinary trail ride in the park. The path through this canyon is, wow, it's incredibly narrow. It's a really tight squeeze, and every single step your horse takes really matters. One wrong move and things could get serious fast. You've got to be completely focused. And if you even think about looking to your right, you'll see this huge rocky cliff that drops straight down. It is a long way to the bottom. It's totally the kind of view that makes your stomach do a little flip. So, what about your left? Is it any better? Nope, it's just as scary. There's a deep, dark ravine, like a giant crack in the earth. The path is the only safe spot, with danger literally on both sides. Feeling a little nervous just thinking about it? I get it. But don't worry. On this crazy journey, you are not alone. There's a hero in this story, a guide who knows this path like the back of his hand. And this is the most important part. The person telling the story was so grateful for their guide, who they call a pilot. You know, when a path is this tricky and dangerous, having someone leading the way who's done it before, well, it changes everything. You can totally trust them. So how do you make it through safely? The guide gives 3 super simple rules. First, you've got to hold the reins firmly. That gives you control. Second, guide your horse carefully, always keeping it in the middle of the path. And third, and this is the biggest one, keep your eyes glued on your leader and follow every single move they make. Okay, now this is where things get really cool. Because this whole adventure through the canyon, it's not just a thrilling story. It's actually a picture of something way bigger. It's a picture of your life. Let's break this down, because it's awesome. That dangerous path in the canyon, that's like the tough choices or tricky situations we face in our lives. That trusted pilot, the amazing guide, that's Jesus, our perfect leader who knows the way to safety. And holding onto the reins, well, that's all about you using self-control. Let's talk a little more about that last one because it is so important. Holding the reins, that's self-control, and it's kind of like your very own special superpower. So what even is self-control? It's that amazing power you have inside of you to steer your own actions and choices. It's about choosing to do the right thing, even when the wrong thing seems way easier or, more fun. It means you get to be the boss of your own decisions. See, the path of life has its own cliffs and ravines. They're things like doubting what's right, or maybe breaking a promise you made to someone, or just making choices you know deep down you shouldn't. These are the real-life dangers that can get us off track. And just look at what's at stake here. If you were on that horse, on that narrow path, and you just let go of the reins, what would happen? The horse would wander right over the edge. It's exactly the same in life. If we let go of our self-control, we can end up heading toward destruction, which is so far from where we actually want to be. And all of this brings us to the biggest question of the entire journey. On the path of life, you come to a fork in the road, and you have to make a decision. You have to choose which way you're going to go. Now, here's a really important point. God has this amazing, safe path all ready for you, but He will never, ever force you to take it. The choice is always 100% yours. You are the one who decides which way to turn. So the choice really comes down to 2 very different roads. Path number 1 is narrow and shining, and it leads to heaven. Yeah, it might be challenging, but it's the right way. Path number 2 looks broad and easy, but that's a trick, because it leads to destruction. This first path, this is the one our guide wants us to take. It's described as shining, which means it's full of goodness and light. It might be steep sometimes, which means it takes real effort and self-control, but it leads to the absolute best place you could ever imagine. Now that other path, it looks so tempting, right? It's broad, so it seems like there's plenty of room to just do whatever you want. It seems easy with no real challenges. But that's the trap. This easy-looking road doesn't lead to life. The story is very clear. It ends in death. So here we are. It feels like the end of the story, but really, it's the beginning of your decision. You are that rider. You're in the saddle. You are holding the reins of your own life. And now you know there's a perfect guide to follow and a shining path to take. So the only question left is, what will you do?